Welcome all for the lecture on stereochemistry of organic compounds. This is only an introduction for stereochemistry. Stereochemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with the spatial arrangement of atoms and groups in a molecule and its relation to the properties of the molecule. In what way the arrangement of atoms and groups in a molecule in the three-dimensional space decides or affects its properties, that is dealt with in stereochemistry. While we learn stereochemistry, we have to come across some important terminologies. Among all, the most important terminologies are isomers and isomerism. The different compounds with the same molecular formula are called isomers. And this concept of different molecules existing with same molecular formula is known as isomerism. Two molecules are said to be isomers of each other if they have the same molecular formula but differ from each other in some way. There are variety of ways in which two molecules can differ from each other, and these differences give rise to different types of isomerism and which we can discuss. Let us consider the two molecules A and B, and we shall ask a few questions. Are these two molecules having the same molecular formula? If yes, then they are isomers. Therefore, the two different molecules with the same molecular formula are called isomers. If A and B differ from each other in their molecular formula itself, then they are not isomers. The next question is, are they having the same connectivity of atoms? If yes, they are stereoisomers. Therefore, the isomers with the same connectivity of atoms and do differ only in the three-dimensional arrangement of atoms are called as stereoisomers. If the two molecules are differing from each other in the way the atoms are connected, then they are called structural isomers or constitutional isomers. Let us consider, and there are different types of constitutional isomers. Let us consider ethanol and dimethyl ether. Both the molecules are having the same molecular formula C2H6O. Ethanol is CH3CH2OH. Dimethyl ether is CH3OCH3. And these two molecules are differing in the way the atoms are connected with each other. And they do have difference in the functional groups. Therefore, ethanol is an alcohol and dimethyl ether, the methoxymethane, is an ether. So these two molecules with the same molecular formula are differing in their functional groups. They are functional isomers. Therefore, constitutional isomers with different functional groups are called functional isomers. Now let us consider 2-butanol and 1-butanol. In 1-butanol and 2-butanol, we have the same functional group. But in 1-butanol, OH is present in carbon number 1 of the parent chain, whereas in 2-butanol, OH is present in the second carbon. Therefore, these molecules differ in the position of the functional group in the carbon chain. Therefore, this kind of isomers, 1-butanol and 2-butanol, are very good examples for the positional isomers. Now chain isomers. Let us consider N-butane and isobutane. N-butane has all the 4 carbon atoms in the straight chain, whereas isobutane or 2-methyl propane has a 3-carbon parent chain with a methyl branch at the second carbon. So in N-butane, the parent chain is having 4 carbon atoms, and in isobutane, the parent chain has only 3 carbon atoms and it is having a branching methyl group. Therefore, the constitutional isomers or the structural isomers are differing in the way the atoms are connected. If they differ in the functional group, they are functional isomers, and if they differ in the position of the functional group, they are called positional isomers, and if they differ in the carbon chain or the parent chain of the molecule, they are called chain isomers, and these are all constitutional isomers. Now coming to this side, if the two isomers are having the same connectivity of atoms, and if they differ only in the spatial arrangement of atoms, then they are called stereoisomers. And the, among the stereoisomers, there are two different types. So now we shall again look at the two molecules A and B and raise another question. Are they interconvertible by rotation about carbon-carbon single bond? If the molecule A and B are interconvertible by just by doing a rotation about carbon-carbon single bond, then the two molecules are called conformational isomers or conformers. If they are not interconvertible, the stereoisomers which are not interconvertible are called configurational isomers. Now the next question that we have to raise is the isomerism due to carbon-carbon double bond? Is the isomerism due to restricted rotation about carbon-carbon double bond? If so, they are geometrical isomers. The cis-trans isomers are geometrical isomers. They have the same connectivity of atoms and they differ in the arrangement of atoms and groups with respect to the double bond. Again, there is a difference in spatial arrangement of atoms and groups here. Therefore, they are geometrical isomers. And if the configurational isomers which are not having the carbon-carbon double bond are called optical isomers. And if they are mirror images, then the optical isomers which are non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. And if they are not mirror images, such optical isomers are called diastereomers. From the flowchart we have seen now, we can understand there are two major classes of isomers: constitutional or structural isomers and stereoisomers. So the constitutional isomers differ from each other in the way the atoms are connected with each other. And these constitutional or structural isomers are having different IUPAC names. They may have different functional groups also, or they may not have different functional groups. In the case of positional isomers, we have seen 1-butanol and 2-butanol have the same functional group, but they differ in their positions. And the constitutional isomers differ in their physical and chemical properties. Since they differ in their physical properties like boiling point, melting point, we can separate them by some physical techniques. And they do differ in their chemical properties. They behave differently with the different reagents. Stereoisomers differ from each other only in the way the atoms and groups are arranged in the three-dimensional space. They have same name, similar name, they have identical name except the prefixes like cis trans or DL or meso, like that. Since they differ only in the three-dimensional arrangement of atoms and groups, they have the same functional groups also. Now let us consider the examples given here. These two molecules are examples for stereoisomers. They have same molecular formula, they have the same connectivity. In this molecule you can see there is a 5-membered ring, a cyclopentane, in which there are two methyl groups in the adjacent carbon atoms. Here again a cyclopentane with two methyl substituents in the adjacent carbon atoms. And they differ only in the way these two groups are oriented in space. These two methyl groups here are in the beta side, which means these two bonds are coming towards us. Whereas here, this one bond is beta bond, this is in front of the screen, and this is an alpha bond which goes behind the screen. Therefore, these two molecules differ from each other only in the arrangement of this methyl group in the three-dimensional space. In this molecule it is in the beta side, and in this molecule it is in the alpha side. Therefore, these two molecules differ only in the arrangement of the groups in the three-dimensional space. Therefore, these are stereoisomers. Whereas, look at these two molecules, these are constitutional isomers. They have the difference in connectivity of atoms. Here we can see the parent chain being a pentane, a 5-carbon chain. Here also there is a 5-carbon chain. Here the methyl substituent is, the methyl branch is connected to the second carbon. Here the methyl branch is present in the third carbon. Therefore there is a difference in the connectivity of atoms. Therefore these two molecules are examples for constitutional or structural isomers. See, look at these molecules, both are having the same molecular formula and they are two different molecules. Therefore these are two different molecules with the same molecular formula, but they differ in the connectivity of atoms. Therefore we have to call them as constitutional or structural isomers. A few pairs of isomers are given here. Now we have to identify them as constitutional and stereoisomers. You look at these two molecules. Here it is a molecule with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon parent chain, pentane, with a methyl branch at carbon number 2 and a methyl group at carbon number 3. Therefore it is 2, 3 dimethyl pentane. Whereas here, instead of the methyl group being present in carbon number 3, it is there in carbon number 4. Therefore this molecule is 2, 4 dimethyl pentane. So these two molecules are differing from each other in the connectivity of atoms. Therefore these are structural isomers. And look at these two molecules. This is oxetane and this is cyclopropanol, and both are having the same molecular formula, and this is a cyclic ether and this is an alcohol. These two are differing from each other in the connectivity of atoms. They have different functional groups also. Therefore these two molecules are examples of functional isomers which is coming under the category of constitutional isomers. Now let us look at these two molecules. Here it is a cyclobutane with two methyl branches, methyl groups in the same carbon atom, and here we have two methyl groups in the two different carbon atoms. Again, the methyl group is connected to two different carbon atoms in both the molecules. Therefore, this pair also is an example of constitutional isomers. Now the last pair, just look at these two molecules, cyclobutane, cyclobutane, a methyl group and methyl group in the adjacent carbon atoms. Here again two methyl groups in the adjacent carbon atoms, but in this case the two methyl groups are in the beta side, and here one is in the beta, the other one is in the alpha. Therefore, these two molecules are having same molecular formula, same connectivity. They differ only in the arrangement of groups in the three-dimensional space. They differ only in the orientation of groups in the three-dimensional space. Therefore, this pair is an example of stereoisomers. As we have seen in the flow chart, all isomers are classified into two major categories as structural and stereoisomers. And the stereoisomers were further classified into conformational and configurational isomers. The conformational isomers are otherwise called conformers. These are the different three-dimensional structures of the same molecule obtained by a rotation about carbon-carbon single bond. And these are called as conformations, conformers or conformational isomers. And these different three-dimensional structures of the same molecule, the conformers, have difference in their energy. The study of their relative stabilities or energies is called conformational analysis. A molecule can have infinite number of conformations. When we do a rotation about carbon-carbon single bond from 0 to 360 degrees, we are going through infinite number of angles, and every angle of rotation will give a new conformer. And the conformational isomers of the molecule are undergoing interconversion very readily at room temperature itself, because the energy difference between the conformers is very less, and that energy can be acquired from the room temperature itself. And as I said, a molecule can have infinite number of conformations, and no one of those conformations or conformer can be physically separated from the other conformers, because they do not have any difference in their physical properties or chemical properties other than their difference in their energy, and that too the difference in the energy of the conformers is very less. There are several methods available for representing the three-dimensional structures of molecules, and this Sahar's projection is one among them. In this Sahar's projection, only the two carbon atoms which are connected by the single bond of our interest are shown, and one carbon which is in the front is shown with a dot here, and here another, the backside carbon also is shown here, and the two carbon atoms are connected by a slanting line, and this is the carbon-carbon single bond. Now this is the Sahar's projection of ethane, and in this Sahar's projection you can see the three CH bonds in the front carbon and the three CH bonds in the back carbon are exactly one behind the other. That means they are eclipsing. Therefore, this is called the eclipsed conformation of ethane. Now, we shall keep this carbon rigid and rotate the back carbon by 60 degree. This 60 degree rotation will bring this hydrogen from here to here, and that is this staggered conformation. And this staggered conformation is the most stable conformation of ethane, and this eclipsed conformation is the least stable conformation of ethane. Apart from this eclipsed and staggered, there are n number of other conformations possible. They are all called skew conformations. Now, with a three-dimensional model, let us see what happens when we do a rotation about carbon-carbon single bond in ethane. And this is the Sahar's projection of the ethane molecule where the two bonds are eclipsed. Now let us do a 60-degree rotation. This is eclipsed. The 60-degree rotation will convert this eclipsed conformation into staggered conformation. Let us see what happens now when we do a 60-degree rotation. Now you can see the staggered conformation. Another 60-degree rotation gives eclipsed, the again staggered. And this is another 60-degree rotation giving eclipsed. So in eclipsed conformer, all the CH bonds are exactly one behind the other. Now let us do a complete rotation. Keeping this front carbon rigid, we shall do a complete rotation. So one 360-degree rotation will generate infinite number of conformations. Now let us see once again the formation of different conformers of ethane. Yeah, this is the eclipsed conformer of ethane. A 60-degree rotation gives staggered conformer. Another 60 gives eclipsed conformer. Now we shall do a complete rotation. For every particular angle of rotation, we get a conformer. Therefore, during one complete rotation, infinite number of conformers are generated. Among all those, we are considering the two extreme conformers. The most stable conformer is staggered, the least stable conformer eclipsed. Newman projection is another convenient way to illustrate the rotational conformations or the conformational isomers. In this Newman projection, only the two carbon atoms which are connected by the single bond of our interest are shown. Now here we have taken ethane as example. When we look at ethane molecule from here, this carbon lies near to us and this is a carbon at the back side. The near carbon is always represented with a dot in the Newman projection. And the three bonds connected to the front carbon, the near carbon, are also connected to this dot. So in this ethane molecule, the blue color carbon, that is the near carbon, that is shown with a dot here, and the three blue bonds, they are the CH bonds with the front carbon, they are connected with this dot, and the carbon at the back side is shown with a circle, and the three bonds connected to the backside carbon, the distant carbon, are connected with the circle. These are the Newman projections of ethane molecule. This is the eclipsed conformation of ethane, where the this dot is the front carbon and this circle is the back carbon, and these three bonds which are converging at this point are the bonds with the front carbon, and there are three bonds connected to the circle, and they are the CH bonds of the second carbon or the distant carbon. This is eclipsed conformation where the CH bonds of the front carbon atoms are exactly eclipsing with the CH bonds of the backside carbon. The dihedral angle between the CH bond in the front and CH bond at the backside carbon is 0. And here this is staggered conformation. What we have done here is we have kept this carbon rigid and we have rotated the backside carbon by 60 degree, and we have got this staggered conformation. Now with a model we shall see all the conformations of ethane in the Newman projection. This is the Sagar's projection, where this is the near carbon to the viewer, this is the carbon at the back. This is the eclipsed conformation of ethane, where all the CH bonds are eclipsed. Now we shall see the Newman projection. In this Newman projection, the two carbon atoms of our interest are here. This is the front carbon and the back carbon is hidden, and the front carbon only is visible to us. Now, and this is the eclipsed conformer of ethane in the Newman projection. After 60 degree rotation, this is becoming staggered. The angle between these two bonds is 60 degree. When we do another 60 degree rotation, it has become only another eclipsed conformer. This is staggered. If you do another 60 degree rotation, you get eclipsed conformer again. Let us see what happens when we do a complete rotation, 360 degree rotation. When we do a 360 degree rotation, we are getting several conformers. For rotation of 1 degree, you get one conformer. For 2 degree rotation, you get another conformer. Like that, 2.1 degree will give another conformer. Like that, infinite number of conformers are generated. And we are considering only the two extreme conformers, the eclipsed one and the staggered one. Among all the possible conformers, This staggered conformer is the most stable because the CH bonds in the front and back carbon atoms are at a far distance and there is no eclipsing interaction. During my earlier discussions, I was using the term dihedral angle. This is a very important term one should learn while learning about conformational isomers. To understand this term dihedral angle, let us consider a molecule here. In this molecule, let us consider the atom B and C, both are carbon atoms only. So just to differentiate the carbon atoms, we have given different notations B and C, but both are carbon atoms. And we are viewing the molecule from here. So when we look at the molecule from here, this is the near carbon and this is the distant carbon. And this three-dimensional structure can be represented with a Newman projection like this. In this Newman projection, this is the front carbon C that is connected to a group D. And the backside carbon B is shown with a circle. And the group connected to it is A, and that is connected to the circle. Now, the CD bond and BA bond. CD bond is present in a plane, BA bond is present in another plane. And what is the angle between these two planes? That is called a dihedral angle. But in this eclipsed conformation, these two bonds are exactly one behind the other. They are lying on the same plane. Therefore, the angle between the two planes is zero, which means both are on the same plane. So whenever the dihedral angle between two bonds is zero, then we call them syncoplanar. Since they are present on the same plane, we say coplanar, coplanar. At the same time, the two groups are on the same side of the plane. Then you have to use the prefix syn. Therefore, these two bonds are syncoplanar or synperiplanar. Let us consider we are keeping the front carbon rigid and rotating the backside carbon by 60 degree. Now CD and BA bond will not be on the same plane, they will be in two different planes. The angle between the two planes is 60 degree and that is the dihedral angle. Suppose if you are doing a 180 degree rotation, the atom A comes down, we get this staggered conformation. And here also the CD bond and BA bond are lying on the same plane, therefore they are coplanar. But this time they are not on the same direction, they are on the opposite direction. Therefore we have to say they are anti-coplanar or anti-periplanar. Therefore, the dihedral angle is the angle between the two planes containing the CD bond and BA bond. Another important terminology that we have to learn is torsional energy. For ethane, the most stable conformation is staggered conformation, that is the one with the lowest energy. Eclipsed conformation is the least stable, that is the one with the highest energy. Now when we try to do a rotation about carbon-carbon single bond to convert staggered, the most stable conformer, into the eclipsed conformer, the least stable, there will be a resistance for rotation. Therefore, this resistance for rotation from the most stable conformation to the least stable conformation is called torsional strain. And by all means we are trying to convert staggered to eclipsed, means we have to apply some energy. Therefore, the energy required for such a rotation is called torsional energy. And this torsional energy for ethane is 3 kilocalories per mole approximately. That means when we try to convert a staggered to eclipsed conformer, we have to supply this much of energy. The potential energy of staggered ethane is 3 kilocalories per mole less than the potential energy of the eclipsed conformer. But this 3 kilocalories per mole is a very small amount of energy that can be acquired by the molecule from the room temperature itself, and hence the ethane molecule is continuously undergoing rotation. And here we have the staggered conformation of ethane, the most stable conformation, and we are trying to bring this hydrogen here. Now here the dihedral angle is 60 degree. Now I want to make it 0. I am trying to pull this hydrogen here, and I am getting this eclipsed conformation. And this conformer is having 12 kilojoules per mole higher potential energy than the staggered conformer. Why? In this eclipsed conformation, the two hydrogen, the CH bonds, are exactly one behind the other. This bond has a pair of electrons, and the CH bond at the back carbon also is having a pair of electrons. Therefore, the electron clouds of the bonded electrons will be repelling each other, and because of that repulsion, bond pair repulsion, the energy of the molecule increases by 4 kilojoules per mole, and this is by repulsion by one of the CH bond pairs. And there is another pair of CH bonds here that also increases the energy of the molecule by 4 kilojoules per mole due to bond pair repulsion. Here also there is a bonded pair repulsion. Therefore, there is 3 bond pair repulsion that increases the energy of the molecule by 12 kilojoules, which is equal to 2.9 kilocalories per mole, which is around 3 kilocalories. And not only the bond pair repulsion, and here in the staggered conformer, the distance between the two CH bonds in the adjacent carbon atoms in the staggered, it is 2.55 angstrom unit, whereas in the eclipsed conformer it is 2.29. That is, the two hydrogen atoms are also lying closer. As they are coming closer, they repel each other. Therefore, in the staggered conformation, the bonded electron pairs are far from one another, whereas in eclipsed conformer they are nearer to one another and they repel each other, and by which they increase the energy. Therefore, the torsional strain is the strain developed in a molecule by the repulsion between the bonding electrons of the bonds attached to the adjacent carbon atoms. The mutual repulsion of the eclipsed bonds, that is torsional strain. This is the Sagar's projection of ethane, where two methyl groups are connected by a single bond. And here you can see we can do a rotation about this carbon single bond, and a 360-degree rotation will generate infinite number of conformations. This is the staggered conformation, and that is shown with a Newman projection here. And among all the possible conformations of ethane, this is the most stable one, because the CH bonds present in the front and back carbon atoms are having the dihedral angle of 60 degree. Therefore, the hydrogen atoms are away from one another. The bonded electron pairs are also little away from one another. As a result, there is no repulsive interactions between bonded electrons and the hydrogen atoms. That's why this is the most stable conformer. In this picture you can see this is the staggered conformation where all the electron pairs of the CH bonds are separated from each other. There is, since they are little far from one another, there is less repulsive interaction. Here you can see this is the eclipsed conformer. This is one CH bond and the green shade shows the electron cloud of the bonded electrons. So this bonded electron pair and the bonded electron pair at the back carbon are closer to one another and they are repelling each other, and this bond pair repulsion increases the energy of the molecule. So each pair repels, the repulsion of each pair increases the energy of the molecule by 4 kilojoules per mole. So all the three pairs increase the energy of the molecule by 12 kilojoules per mole, and that is what you can see here. That is why this eclipsed conformer is having higher energy than the staggered conformer. The study of relative stabilities or energies of different conformations of a molecule is called conformational analysis. When we do a 360-degree rotation about a carbon-carbon single bond, n number of new conformers are generated, and what happens to their energy? What is the relative energy or stability of all those conformers? So making a study of this is called conformational analysis. Let us consider the conformational analysis of ethane. In case of ethane, you have two carbon atoms, one in the front and one at the back. And here the two CH bonds, all the CH bonds are eclipsing. Now keeping the front carbon rigid, I am going to rotate the backside carbon by 60 degree. When I do a 60-degree rotation, this CH bond with the blue color moves away and we get this conformation. And in between this 0 and 60 there will be n number of conformers. A conformer with a dihedral angle 1 degree, 1.1, like that. N number of conformations are there. They are all skew conformers. And after 60-degree rotation we get this staggered conformer where the dihedral angle here is 60 degree. And this is the most stable conformer of ethane. Now 60-degree rotation I have done. Now another 60 degree, I am bringing this blue hydrogen here. I am doing another 60-degree rotation. Now we are getting an eclipsed conformer with a higher energy. Now once again I am bringing the same CH bond shown with the blue color down. By another 60 degree I am doing a rotation that gives staggered. Another 60 gives eclipsed. One more 60-degree rotation gives staggered, and another 60-degree rotation gives the original one. So 360-degree rotation generates 3 eclipsed conformers and 3 staggered conformers, and apart from these 6 there are infinite number of skew conformers. Now let us see with a three-dimensional model about this conformational analysis. This is the eclipsed conformation of ethane. Now let me do a 60-degree rotation. Yes, this is staggered. Another 60 gives eclipsed. Another 60-degree rotation, the third 60. Fourth 60 gives eclipsed. Fifth 60 gives staggered. And the sixth 60-degree rotation gives the eclipsed conformation, that is the original one. Now let us do it once again, and you can observe it still closely. There is complete rotation, 360-degree rotation I am doing. while I am doing a 360-degree rotation, you have seen 3 times we get the eclipse and 3 times we get staggered, and that is what you are watching now. Therefore, from all our discussions, we are coming to a conclusion. There are two extreme conformations of ethane, the one with the lowest energy staggered, the one with the highest energy eclipsed. And apart from these two, infinite number of conformations are possible. They are skew conformations, and the difference in energy between the staggered and eclipsed is 12 kilojoules per mole, and or 2.9 kilocalories per mole, and this is what we call as the torsional energy of ethane. Thank you for watching. In the next module we will meet with the conformations of propane and butane. Thank you.